episode of the Intrigue Dynamite Show. You should hit that subscribe button, like and share.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Intrigue Dynamite Show. You already know what time it is.
Yeah.
Can we calm this music down just a little bit? Shh. Yeah. I like to get right into it. Welcome to this lovely Tuesday evenings. Oh yeah. So here we really like to get down into narrative correction. You know, typically dealing with some social matters and things that are happening out there in the world, but then occasionally we get a little bit ratchet. But then there's also some serious topics, such as this one that we're about to tackle right now today. Oh, we're going to be talking about the funk that destroys nations. Oh, absolutely. Look, and this stems from a horror story. This is my personal horror story that I've gone through. Now, you want me to tell you something very interesting. I think that part of what we're going to be talking about, it kind of gets highlighted in there's a special that Jamie Foxx did. I can't remember the name of this special, but man, he's going in. And this kind of is going to lead into what it is that I'm going to be addressing. So let's take a listen to Jamie Foxx in one of his great stand-ups. I think this would be the better monologue.
Now, some things you got to get used to when you get to Africa, like the smells. Bring you an extra set of nostrils or something to click on, because you're going to burn those furs too right the fuck off. As soon as you get off the plane, like, shit, what the fuck is this I done landed in? It's like, shit. And they just used to it. It's musty as hell. These little musty ones. And you like this. I ain't got no fan or nothing. This shit is tearing my mustache up. I can't even fucking inhale in this motherfucker. I'm like, I get my little air like this. Shit, these motherfuckers. Because it's a different kind of funk. It's a different level to their funk. Black people got a way of describing this level of funk. It's called God damn.
Amen to that. Oh boy, do I have a story. A horror story. Jamie Foxx led right into it. Now, this right here, look. Black people always talk about unity. They talk about Pan-Africanism, traveling, and all this, that, and the other. They want some sort of solidarity with their brethren worldwide. But let me tell you something. One of the greatest divisors of communities and unity worldwide is abomination level funk. I just need to put it out there, just on the line. Look, you ever had somebody in your face that's talking, and no matter how much game that they spitting, it might be from the survival divine scrolls, but the funk coming out of their breath can destroy any understanding. Now, this was right after my son was born. So my son was born, and I was traveling to go see him. Well, I was in New Orleans, and I was catching a bus to Chicago. Now, mind you, this is back when, there was no, megabus. No, this was just Greyhound. And I paid for my ticket. Now, first of all, I think the drive is like 13 hours. So you could just imagine how long the bus ride is. And sure enough, this is, I believe it was I can't remember if it was assigned seats. I think it's just you choose a seat. So I get on this bus, and now I'm sitting by the window. And lo and behold, there is a dark mist that gets on the bus, and this dark mist is floating through the aisles, and everybody's ducking and dodging it, and I'm looking down the aisle. I don't see anything. I don't see anybody like spraying anything or whatever. I'm like, what is that? And he said, I don't know, but I don't want it to sit next to me. Sure enough, out of that fog, there's a man. And before the man approaches me, the funk came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, is anybody sitting here? I said, absolutely not, because I didn't smell anything. After I looked in the mirror, I realized that my nose had jumped off of my face and ran off the bus. Threw up the deuces and said, I'm on my own. Now, this guy was from Iraq. Now, came and sat right next to me on the bus. Let me tell you something. This was a level of funk that it's not like, I was working today. No, this was sour funk. This was water hasn't touched my armpits ever since my mother's water broke. I'm talking abomination level funk. Now, I had to sit on that bus ride from New Orleans, and I can't remember where we were, but we had driven for hours and hours and hours. And I have my nose lodged in my own armpit so I can sniff my deodorant because I'm like, God, this is wrong. Well, the bus driver finally stops. He stops at the gas station, so everybody can get off and go get their snacks and stuff. Well, I hop off. I go run in there because I need some relief. Well, Musty Man gets off the bus too. I'm like, oh, thank God. But the funk kind of lingered behind. But let me tell you, when he came back, he had some sort of strawberry pastry. And he sat there and he opened up this strawberry pastry. It was like one of those what is that? Pop-Tart. My goodness, it was like heaven. I'm like that was the most relief I got on that entire bus ride. And I prayed for him, dude, please nibble on it. Small bites. Small bites, please. You know how long it is I've been growing this mustache? And the side that is exposed to you, half of my mustache fell off. Now, I understand that there's like some sort of cultural differences maybe. Right? But let me tell you something. Now, this guy was from Iraq. So a lot of people, they think, well, Africa. Well, look, I have some African friends. And I'll tell you this. I got a buddy from Zimbabwe. This guy, I've never smelled him musty. Now, one thing that he does, he puts on too much cologne. So that's one of his things. He put on too much. So it's not every African is like that. But there are some of our brothers from, I got some buddies from Nigeria. And, you got to step that game up, man. It's I think it's when when you first get here, you understand certain things, certain cultural things. You want to holler at the ladies, but you want to still maintain, be true to your culture, but you realize that funk is not going to get the job done. So then you realize, okay, well, yeah, see that little piece of culture, the culture of musty is appealing. Yeah, we had to leave that behind. And then, so then you start trying to balance that game out, you start putting on too much, and you got to learn how to put it on, Well, let's finish listening to J.B. Fox's horror story. Hold up.
Am I right? Because, you know, it's levels. It's like, ooh, that don't smell too good. And then there's, somebody stepped in some shit. And then there's, God damn, do you smell that shit? And they used to it. They just dancing and hugging each other. I'm like, golly, y'all need some soap and water. And then, check this out. Flip this. When they smell me with all my cologne on and shit, guess what? I stink. I stink. So me and this African dude is standing next to each other trying to figure out who in the hell is stinking.
Now I need to know something. Do you ever really get used to funk? Like, is there such thing in like different cultures that really don't like use a lot of deodorant? Like, how do you know when someone is past the funk threshold? Like, you know, because look, I remember. Look, I was in ROTC back in high school, and I used to have that hot ass uniform on, right? And I didn't always remember to put on deodorant. So I know how it is. And I know the level of funk that is generated just from one day of non-activity down in hot as hell Louisiana. I mean, you talking about funk masterflex. I mean, this is horrible just one day, let alone just having okay. I mean, is that really like a cultural thing to like how do you know the funk level to it? Okay, anyway, here we go.
What is that smell? What is that smell? So I don't know, but it smells like shit. It does smell like shit, doesn't it? I got the smelling around. I said, motherfucker, that's you. Motherfucker, that's you. I said, well, you need to take a bath. Well, you need to not take a bath. And then I mess around and pooed it, right? He was like, what is that fragrance you're wearing? What is that?
Man, this is crazy, man. But this is, I think that, especially when cultures are getting to know one another, when if there's going to be any sort of, coming together, any sort of real business, real dealings. Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to smell hot breath. Okay? And this goes for all people. All people, myself included, because I'm part of the people. Look, if you're getting out there, I've seen people that take the results that they're getting and then they try to blame it on everything else. Oh, you're fat shaming. Oh, you're shallow. You're this, that, and the other. It's like, have you ever considered that maybe that halitosis that you just have never really caught a rein on, just really, maybe just, your culture, it has, there's a sharpness, there's a spiciness that, it comes as a shock to a lot of people. And just like how Jamie Foxx was saying, some of our good smells, some of our colognes and things like that, it may come as a shock to other people, which I think too much cologne can stink. I don't think just cologne, generally, modest, moderate. If you're moderate with it, come on. But just walking around with steamy armpits, listen. I am of the belief that every time that there ever was anything that when black people tried to progress, I think everything failed due to someone musty. I'm telling you, I think that Harriet Tubman, during the Underground Railroad, I believe that there was someone that she had to leave behind because they were too musty. It was like, listen, the dogs are going to be right on your tail. Here, well, just rub onion. We can't tell the difference between your armpit or an onion. I mean, listen. Take it how you want. I have seen a lot of things fall due to funk. I've seen a lot of grand ideas and all of these great dreams that people had. I've seen a lot of them just not come to fruition due to bad hygiene, and they blame it on everything else. Blame it on everything else. It's like, look, there has to be some level of pride, some level of, taking care of yourself. Look, could you imagine if Martin Luther King had a bad tooth in the front of his mouth? Could you just imagine that if he had that one black tooth just dead right there in the front of his mouth? No one will be able to listen to what he's saying. They'll be like, man, what's up with that dead tooth right there, smack there? I have a dream. You're like, bro, but that tooth though. I mean, we can't escape the necessity of self-improvement and making sure that we present the best version of ourselves, and understanding that funk is not a cross-cultural practice. I mean, not really. But hey, still love you just the same. Just give a brother 6 feet. Well, this was a brief show, something that I just really wanted to tackle because I thought that it was a very important public service announcement to address the family and some of the funk that has divided nations for centuries, and the lack of accountability that just a touch of water, a touch of soap, and a towel, it can do wonders. Well, appreciate you guys. I'll check this chat right quick. Say hello to everyone. And then I got to get out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And remember, when they say keep it funky, they're not being literal. Okay? Appreciate you. And remember, never let anyone say, what? I said never let anyone control your narrative. But please, control your hygiene too. Peace.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.